Alright, playing against Kaigaluchu for the first match here. So, our champion, this is a kind of unique champion that's not super popular. Pharamedes. Target troop gets +2/+2 permanently for 5 charges. It seems fine. It's like not super exciting, but fine. Maybe 5 resources a little bit much. I'm terrible and I didn't look at the username. I don't actually know whose deck this is. This is the main deck is card for card. The deck that top 8 of the last bash. So small sequencing thing here. You'll note I led on the Diamond Ice as opposed to the Shard of Retribution for Blood. The reason for this is I want to spot check for removal with this Withering Gaze before I want to spot check for removal with this Withering Gaze before I start deploying my threats out here. So we'll go ahead and play the Slow Shard for Blood this turn, and then Withering Gaze my opponent. Hopefully we don't miss. Yeah, look at that. Bunch of removal. I think I'm just going to take the Herofall here. The Rotten Rancor could be scary later. Yeah, I'm going to take the Herofall, and then hopefully if we're really lucky, this Vampire Princess will just, like, gobble the Rotten Rancor out of their hand. This Vampire Princess is a 2/3 with Flight and Life, and it says whenever it deals damage to an opposing champion, we get to look at a random card in their hand. And if we look at an action with her, we get to take the action away from them. Journey into Nightmare is one of our better cards of this matchup for sure. Worth noting that our opponent has a Paw of Yazukan in their hand, which can destroy any card. Thank you to folks with the auto hosts, Caleb and others. So we'll see if they hit piece of removal this turn. They're probably going to activate their champion power looking for removal. They missed. They've got an Eternal Seeker back to their hand, but worth noting, there is an Eternal Seeker in their bin as well. So if we don't hit... Hey, the Tenacious Vermin with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to hit them with this Vampire Prince, and if we don't take Rotten Rancor out of their hand, we'll have a 1 in 6 chance to get that. We're not going to play this Prince out, because I don't want to play the Prince out into this Eternal Seeker. We missed. Alright, I'm going to play this Diamond Ice, and then put a non-resource on top of my deck, since I have plenty of resources. Opponent very likely going to Rotten Rancor their Seeker back. And when they Rotten Rancor the Seeker back, the Seeker's actually going to fight the Vampire Princess, which means I can use this Strangle to finish off the Eternal Seeker that'll have 2 points of damage marked on it. So they have 3 troops in their bin now too. So opponent appears to be on one of the more reasonable 4 Seeker builds. Ooh, we whipped a Crusader back into play. That's interesting. Huh. So do I want to just strangle this Crusader? Probably. I think my opponent draw cards isn't super appealing. Play. Since we hit another one, we're definitely playing one. Usually catch your MTG content on YouTube. Finally caught a stream. Thanks, Tenacious Vermin. I really do appreciate that support. Subscriptions are the best way you can support my stuff here, so helps me keep doing more of this. So Journey into Nightmare here says, at the start of my turn, I get to draw the top card of my opponent's deck. Will hopefully help me find some removal here. If they hit a 7th non-slow resource next turn, they'll be able to cast... Oh, right. They have a Paw of Yazukan. I knew they had a Paw of Yazukan too, didn't I? Maybe that was loose. Maybe that was loose. Really looking for From the Ashes to help clean up here. I play this Vampire Prince out on the off chance of like my opponent might be incentivized to like Eternal Seeker and like clear this away, and then I can play the Journey into Nightmare out. There's a 7th non-slow shard there. Did I choose to get a 3rd diamond on that duel? I might have. There's Brides of the Damned in my deck, so I should make sure to favor getting blood over everything else here. Rapwa gang, sure. Probably pretty dumpstered here. I guess hitting hitting from the ashes is gonna be pretty good for us. So I can't even afford to attack in here because my opponent can sacrifice a troop to give this flight. I just have to pass back. Yeah, take a 11 ball here. Alright, Kingdom Fur from the Ashes. Yep, they sacrifice their thing, probably get this life drain, buffer their health total up. What was the bug? Our champion power for 5 charges gives a troop +2/+2 permanently. Alright, don't have removal. I'm gonna try and gain some extra health here. Dead. Alright, Yeah, I picked up a blue Yeti microphone. My children shook the connection loose on my previous microphone, so we upgraded. These Withering Gaze is good. I'd argue that if your deck can't win in 5 minutes of clicking, you probably deserve the game loss. Not sure about the upgrade. Sounds like an echo. I mean, I've tested and listened to my own recordings, and it sounds much better. I'll double check today's stream versus the other ones and see if there's anything different today, but definitely wasn't an echo in the Magic streams when we did those yesterday, or the Immortal stream on Tuesday. As far as reserving in this matchup goes, I don't really know what we want to do. I feel like we don't have a ton of stellar cards. I guess they're on Crusaders and Rabbits, or Gemborn Prowlers, probably reasonable. I don't know that Cockatwice is particularly good. They're on like Rotten Rancors, so like putting things in their bin isn't always a downside for them. It's possible this Pride's Falls are better than these Strangles. Although I guess Strangle's pretty good against Ruinir Hierophant. I think I'm just gonna do this. I think I want to leave the Withering Gazes in for tagging their spot removal. The Rotten Rancors. Yeah, the Ghasts are Speed, Flight, and Steadfast. You had less than 2.5 minutes per turn. So wait, it only gave you 2 minutes then? What's the deal then? Because like that's not what you just said it was. Like so like was the issue you only had 5 minutes, or was the issue you only had 2.5 minutes, or what's the actual problem? This hand's very good. It's got From the Ashes in the opener. It's got Gallows Ghasts in the opener. It's got 3 pieces of ice, so we're gonna guaranteed hit 6 resources in 6 turns. I don't actually know what the bug was, but if the bug was you only got 5 minutes for your turn when they auto passed, I don't really think that's really a big issue. I think people take far too long with their turns in this game. I think the round clocks on each side for the competitive events in Hex could probably be cut down to 25 minutes per player, or possibly even 20 minutes and still be reasonable. It'll go a long way to making long tournaments much shorter. gonna go ahead and play out a Blood Shard here, because if my opponent plays a Runear Hierophant on 3, I want to Strangle it. Yeah, I hope they're working on New Timer. Like I said, like, ooh, that's kind of a beating, huh? Man, I'm like being thoroughly reminded of like why you shouldn't try to mid-range people in Hex. Like playing mid-range and control decks in this game is like often a fool's errand, because like people just want to like mid-range way harder than you. Like this deck in theory should be good against something like what my opponent's doing, but like they just have so much grind value with Underworld Crusader, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand what you're explaining. It sounds like it's bad. It sounds like it's not what people are explaining to me. Someone else had told me that the issue is that you only got 5 minutes for your turn, and I think if you got 5 minutes for your turn, that like that should be plenty. Man, we are just like getting punched in the dick repeatedly here. Never. So those that aren't familiar, I should have zoomed on my opponent's Cockatwice. It's actually a card that we boarded out in this matchup. It's a troop that has an ability where they reveal it from their hand and then shuffle it back into their deck, or place it back into their deck. We don't shuffle in Hex. And then I have to discard 2 cards when they do that. The lack of Blood's favors or mechanics let me draw 2 cards. Alright. Alright, we're done. We're done. Alright, let's head back into the fire. All right, well that sounds terrible. I would agree that sounds like a pretty bad bug. The issue, as described to me, was that you only get 5 minutes for your turn, which that sounds fine. How much money is? It depends on what you mean by competitive. You can be competitive with a budget deck for 20 bucks. There's a $20 Furico deck on my budget Hex deck list page that can easily get you into Cosmic if you're a reasonable TCG player. If you're looking to immediately jump into playing their cash tournaments and have a not have a disadvantage based on budget in those, the Ardent decks are probably somewhere around $70 to $80 depending on the configuration that you're playing with. Seems okay. It's a little bit resource heavy, but I get to Fate Weave twice for non-resources. To be fair, if we're sending flack where flack is due, they also hung the tournament with their live fix. You probably shouldn't patch things midway through a tournament because of reasons like that. They hung the second to last round for like 10 extra minutes, which they were able to recover live, so that was good. But it was deploying hot fixes mid tournament is definitely kind of loosey goosey. Playing against Kaigalichu again here. If we have a better chance this time around. I really feel like without something like Blood's Favor in this deck list that we're not going to be able to, we're going to have a hard time grinding through things like Primordial Cockatwice. Gallows Ghasts is a super powerful card, and it's actually the reason I really wanted to give this deck a try. This is a major and a minor socket, and it starts as a 4/4, and it says whenever a troop dies, if this is in your hand, it gets +1/+1 permanently. So basically this thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually it has speed and flight, and you just get to like insta-gib your opponent when they're tapped out. Sure, yep, Crusader with speed is kind of scary. I'm gonna crack us for 5 this turn, because there's no way we're blocking this. Let's up with this Vampire Prince, Life Drain 2 of it back, and then play the Princess out. And it's the nice thing about the Vampires. Ooh, 2 Ghasts in hand is kind of fantastic. Except for when the first one gets Herofall in. Yay, so when Vampire Prince hits them, he flips over the top card of their deck. And if he flips over a resource, we get it. And then it deals damage to the equal number of vampires we control. Play this Princess back out. I think Kaigalichu decks, like what our opponent's playing, and this Blood Diamond deck, like what I'm playing, are going to be well positioned going into this weekend. Looking at the results from the last couple of Hex Bashes, it seems like there's more people trying to metagame the Turbo PA decks than there are people actually playing the Turbo PA deck at this point, which means that, like, There's a lot of the Diamond Ardent decks which have a harder time with these Rotten Rancor Kaigalichu decks. Yeah, the biggest difference between Hex and Magic is just like the first time you take mulligans while playing Magic, it's just like so miserable. It's like the quality of life improvement that like is not having to auto mulligan no resource hands and all resource hands just because like the helping hands is just like so insane. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and we have a non-resource at the top of my deck here. We are losing this race here, so we need a little bit of help. You can see these guys are up to 5/5s now because my Vampire Princess died while they were in my hand. Flip an Eternal Seeker yet, but they have a Crusader here, so if they have a Rotten Rancor, they're going to get to Rancor this Crusader back. They also have Culmination Blood on 5 here, so if they have another Culmination, they're just going to empty our hand, and we're probably going to burn in a fire after that. Yep, there's a Rancor, and they're going to crack us for 9 here. Would want to buy from the Ashes. Even that's not going to be fast enough, though, right? Alright, I have a Herofall, I guess. Oh, dude. Put a non-resource on top of my deck. Herofall this guy in case they have another one in their hand. Nothing makes you feel better than killing your opponent's card and letting them draw 2 cards, right? Oh, Crusader is so good. Modern Apprentice. This deck looks the most beat up. Yeah, it's exactly... It's like when we played the Redlings deck yesterday, right? Like, I was like, man, the person that played this deck must have, like, run hot or, like, played exceptionally well to, like, do well in the tournament because the deck feels aggressively medium. That being said, like, I could see this deck being well-positioned and decent against the, I could see this deck being fine against, the Ardent decks, right? Like... Alright, dead to removal, dead to Crusader, dead to Eternal Seeker, because that's basically removal. Just dead to a lot here. He bodied a bunch of Ardent decks, yep. And that's the sweet thing about Hex, right? Like, we can take a look at it and go, okay, what did you actually play against? Hey, they didn't play a removal spell. Yeah, if they didn't have removal, we could have played the second Ghasts and like cracked in. That is completely true. Yep. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that again. Ugh. At least this bosom is armored, right? It's not like Ada just hanging out. The Judge of Ada with the 3x3 subscription. Thank you, and welcome back. Quarter of a year. I appreciate the continued support. The charity stream schedule. I think it was linked on Reddit. I don't actually have it offhand. I just know that I'm doing a Saturday slot, which I should find out what time we're supposed to start on Saturday. Should confirm that. Seems okay. Got Withering Gaze into a Vampire Princess. We're going to guarantee our 3rd resource drop with this Blood Ice. Some of the art in Hex is really good, but some of it is just like the kind of typical like anime cartoon type. Why does this card have its chest hanging out artwork? And I really wish they'd move away from that. I realize there's a small amount. Yeah, that's what we're doing. The Saturday coverage is part of the charity stream. Sweet. Ice, ice, baby. Do. Put Skyguard Steadfast in their Crusaders. That's smart. I think I need to take this Herofall here. That could be dangerous. Like, leaving them with the culmination is definitely playing with a little bit of fire. I'm excited for Saturday coverage. Hopefully my voice will be 100% by then. Got the new microphone. Got a capture card set up, so we'll be able to have 2 people managing the technology. Looking forward to not having to manually flip through scenes and stuff while casting. If they brick on a wild threshold here, we're going to be in a good spot. It means the Crusader won't be able to block this Vampire Princess. Sweet. So they hit a 3rd resource, they can play the Crusader out, but the Crusader's Skyguard won't be active because the Skyguard depends on this wild threshold, so no blocks. Matt'll be here. Sweet. We took their culmination in blood like a professional. Right, let's play this other Vampire Princess out in case they had a Herofall. Rats. So they hit the wild threshold. I think I'm just shipping this Kiss and this princess. I think I'm just shipping both these princesses into this board because I want to trade the princess plus the Kiss for the Crusader. I think that's reasonable. Oh, I suppose I could also just do this, right? Yeah, that seems way better. Let's talk about things that have 4 power and life drain. Seems sweet. The champion power does seem really sweet with vampires. Oh, yeah, I do. You're right. Needs to have activated abilities that make this Kiss free. Forgot about that. They're both were in the opener. This card has so much text on it. This card just feels like they were like looking to do something with it that like, we want to do something we can only do in digital. And they put all this text on it. It's just like, all right, sure. Oh, jeez. I guess there aren't any troops at a decrypt yet, but that is a good hit from both decks this turn. Getcha. Alright, fair. Hopefully they got some actions they can't cast here that we can gobble up. Daddy wants a Rotten Rancor. Herofall. Yeah, buddy. Yes, you can. Sure. That's a coat, yep. Alright, so play this out. I think I'm just cracking them with both of these here. You can trade the 2 kisses plus a princess for the as you can, or this princess plus a kiss for the as you can. Alright, so they got 2 troops in there. I can just Vampire Kiss this and then Culmination them. Doesn't seem bad. Like, get rid of the last 2 cards out of their hand. I could have just, like, played a Vampire Queen there, but I kind of like just, like, taking them off their last couple of resources here. Like, they don't have much power in play. Ooh, that's a good pickup. So, opponent missed making a Dreadling there. That was a pretty good hit. I'm not sure what you mean by vamp synergies. It plays some vampires. There's a decklist on the side of the screen there. All the deets on it. Yep. So we're gonna do the old bride board swap here. This is their Bride of the Damned. We drew this off Journey to Nightmare. Just so everything's kosher and above the board here. This is their Bride of the Damned. Alright, I'm gonna go and attack them with this Vampire Princess. Alright. So From the Ashes kills everything at play, and then gives me a troop from their discard pile back into play. But my Bride's gonna bring all of these back anyways. So I'm gonna get their entire board, plus an additional troop from their bin. So plus a Yazucan. So I'll take this Yazucan. And then the Yazucan comes back, and then the Bride's gonna trigger, and I'm gonna get all their stuff back here. Go ahead and Withering Gaze them, see what they got. From the Ashes is a really powerful card. I think we're gonna put a 4th copy on the board after this match. I think I want access to 4 of those. Card is just like obnoxiously good. Morning, Agel. Everyone's having a great Wednesday. Happy hexing, ready for the weekend. If you're into hex coverage, Matt, Klutz, and I will be doing hex coverage this weekend. You're putting your coat on backwards, Dorko. And you want to show the internet how much of a dork you are? Look at this dorky child. Look at him. His backwards coat. What do you think? He's a trendsetter, right? You all over the fashion world by this time next week? Nope, not yet. I have to imagine this is pretty good against the Ardent decks. Yeah, Sand seems great. Perfect. Low shard on one. Right. Brick Bunny. Alright, you got one off of it. So Continental Explorer flips over the bottom 3 cards of their deck, and then they get all the resources out of there. Play my Princely out here. Hopefully they should have a Crusader that they're hoping to block with. Then we get to go slow shard, Gemborn the Crusader, hit them with the Prince. Diamond Sapphire control is terrible against Turbo PA. So if your goal is to beat Turbo PA, you definitely shouldn't be doing it with a control deck. Turbo PA just devours controlling decks. You get to pick, yep. I actually think if your goal is to beat Turbo PA, the Incinerator decks are the decks to be playing. Which one do you want to watch? Herofall, tilt. The goes are going, okay. All right, Gallows Ghasts a little late, but still early enough. I think here I'll put a non-resource on top of my deck since I'm already curving out to 6 here. Plays Journey into Nightmare next turn. Hopefully they give us a socketed thing to void with this Gemborn Prowler this turn. That is terrifying. It's a threat the Gemborn doesn't kill. Alright, I'm just gonna play the Journey to Nightmare here. Get that on board. And they don't have enough troops in here to scrounge a paw, right? Yeah, just 2. I guess they have a champion power, so they could like hit their champion power and possibly hit more. Again, Eternal Seeker back to their hand, and they did put 2 more troops in here, so if they have a paw. It doesn't look like they have a paw. That would be sweet. The Diamond Sapphire control is devouring Incinerator. Diamond Sapphire control might be good against... Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Exactly what Bob said. I could see Diamond Sapphire control being good against the Heart of Embers build. I think it's probably pretty bad against... It's probably pretty bad against the other configuration, though. I'm blanking on the name at the moment. The sockets deck gives Diamond Sapphire control fits. Gargalith, God. Just mono mid-range mush. All right, hopefully we can find our way to a From the Ashes here soon. Ugh. Alright, I guess that's on me. Maybe I should have spot checked with the Withering Gaze. I just felt like I didn't care if they killed my thing, but Rotten Rancoring it back is worse than killing my thing. The deck list for the deck is on the actual stream. It's not on the overlay itself. Withering Gaze you. Probably miss now because I'm an idiot. Oh, I have 2 Rotten Rancors. Alright. Take one of those away. And we very cleverly keep drawing resources off their deck, which is nice. There are links to it down below the stream. We have to Herofall this as you can. Otherwise, gonna get something back for their discard pile. Not in a good spot here. I guess we could theoretically just like play this Gallows Ghasts out on defense next turn. Ugh, that means they're gonna get to play Eternal Seeker out here and void my Journey into Nightmare. And take another 5 on this attack. You hopping? And again, just like only want to draw from the Ashes, like the only card I want to see. We're just dead, right? You can play this, block, and then die. Alright, let's put a couple cards on the board for the mid-range matchups. Want another from the Ashes. Journey actually seems pretty good. Let's put a third copy of that on the board. Let's try one more time. And like trying to out mid-range the Kaigalichu decks just doesn't seem like a very good plan. This is the person that was playing the Weave Tempo deck we played against the other day. We have this champion because this is the champion the person that top 8 of the bash was playing. We are playing their main deck card for card. The board's a little bit different. This champion is good with the vampires, so I could see that angle from it. I don't know if I'm sold on it being better than Renner. Renner has 24 health, right? So you get like one more hit point on top of being able to generate card advantage. Again, just card for card the person in the top 8 of the bash. Just a filthy net decking shill. Man, alright, I'm closing the forums. We're not responding. I'm gonna be an adult today. I love the people. There's the people that will defend cards like Lasgard's Vengeance as being fine to the death, just slay me. It's just like beyond ridiculous. It's like it's okay. I get it. Just because Hex printed a card doesn't mean Hex is infallible. Like Lasgard's Vengeance is too good. It is. Let's just get rid of it so we can like actually play interesting decks in Immortal. I mean, like, if they don't ban Lasgard's Vengeance in Immortal, we'll just keep killing people with redlings and like it's whatever. There isn't. Okay, so in Immortal, there's 2 types of decks. There are Lasgard's Vengeance decks and there are bad decks. Those are your 2 options in Immortal currently. There are decks that are running people out of the game with Lasgard's Vengeance, and there are decks that are much worse than the decks running people out of the game with Lasgard's Vengeance. It just like it creates Lasgard's Vengeance, like even if it wasn't good, even if it wasn't too good, like it creates uninteresting games where like one player doesn't have any meaningful decisions, which is just like frustrating to play with and against. It's fine. Burkhart and team are really they've made really consistently good decisions with how they manage their format. So I expect they'll make consistently good decisions here too. The people that post on the forums are a vocal minority, as with most things. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't decision making process. It looks like my opponent is sitting here timing out. The gem that adds charges based on what... The charges gem is fine. Charges gem is fine. The problem is that, like, the cards that are good against Lasgar's Vengeance, you don't have time to hold them up because and that's why Lasgar's Vengeance is so good. It rewards the aggressive decks for doing what they want to do, which is play to the board and attack. And while those decks are playing to the board and attacking, you have to be playing to the board too, so you're not losing to them. And then because you're playing to the board, you're not holding up resources for things like Verdict or... God, that's annoying. Tilt. All right. We're going to get a freebie. Welcome back. It's fine. Like I said, I'm not super worried about it. They'll probably do the right thing and ban it. And if they don't, Immortal's only relevant 2 events a week, and I'll just play Redlings in those events until it's not legal. Like no joke, I do not intend to brew anything in Immortal until Lasgar's Vengeance is banned, because the Redlings deck is so ridiculously good that I have no desire to play anything other than that. Like, just obnoxiously powerful. Yeah, correct. Just like, we'll just keep playing Redlings, you know? All right, we get a draw off of their deck. Add a resource now. Ugh. Oh, geez. We're super dead. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just 4 Hawks. Just squawk it to me. Yeah. War Machinist. Watch the videos from Monday. They're on my YouTube channel. Card's really good. Like, obnoxiously good. So we played against this person yesterday on this same deck, and they played Hailstorm on 3 every single game we played against them yesterday, too. I said War Machinist. War Machinist, or however it's pronounced. Alright, I guess... I guess I'm gonna trade here. And then these princesses could maybe hold down the fort, maybe. Till we bridge into this queen and these from the ashes. I assume it just, like, dies in a steaming pile of poop when you don't have Hailstorm. I assume you just, like, clunk down the hallway and die. We are not winning currently. All right. Stop hitting him. He's dead. All right, what am I doing? Journey to Nowhere seems fine. From the Ashes to Clean Up seems fine. I don't know if the spot removal is actually good or not. Darkheart seems great for working down their board. Withering Gaze seems fine. I guess Blight Knight technically makes their Hail Hawks worse, right? I guess that technically makes their things worse. Cockatwice seems bad against the Silver Talon Adjudicator deck. For this. Alright, see if we need a third shard on time this game. Alright, my body is ready to never hit my third shard, but already with the college best here. I mean, Blight Knight's just a quality card. Like, there are so many created cards in Hex in general. Sweet. I'll play this and play the Blight Knight out, just in case they have a Warp Steel Shards for an on turn 2. How fat is the Hexen Assault? I have no idea. Man, what year is it? I can't remember the last time I cared about hard drive space. This stuff's really cheap. Like, obnoxiously cheap. My champ power for 5 charges gives a troop +2/+2 permanently. I could tell you, I guess. Where's my terminal? There's my terminal. Right. My tool is running. It will tell me how big it is in a second. Get to play some Vampire Princes this turn. Yay, Blood Shard. Alright, Prince, pass the turn. That's so weird, my opponent didn't play Hailstorm on 3. I'm so confused. I'm so confused! It's taking it a second because I got a ton of crap on my external drive. According to 2.6 gigabytes, what my thing says. 2.6 GBs. I mean, like, I have an SSD too, I just, like, don't keep large applications on it. I have a 240 gig SSD, sure, bog, and then I have a, 1 terabyte platter drive. Runebind Tilt, alright, man, I was really hoping to draw a resource there, huh? Off of their deck. I feel like this deck really wants guidance. I mean, that's not true. If you have an SSD, you just like kind of want to put all the applications you use on the regular on the SSD. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. It looks like... Okay, so that was my hex backup. It looks like my actual hex that I'm running from right now is 3.5 gigs. So I don't know how much bigger it gets than that. I don't know if it downloads card images on the fly or what. I think we're just hero falling this, right? Everything. My system, the SSD. My Everything else on the HD still sometimes. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, you should put the applications you use on the regular on your actual hard drive. It's silly not to. Yeah, so the hex install that I use every day is 3.5 gigs. So that's probably more accurate than the fresh install backup that I have. Into the unknown. Tilt. Yeah, that is text at least. We asked what our opponent deck does without Hailstorm last game, and they're really not doing a whole lot here, right? Just kind of like flailing around. Like, we stumbled a little bit, so they're fine, but doesn't seem particularly impressive. Okie doke. Talk shit, get hit, Hoagland. There's a 1/1 bird. Bride of the Damned. Alright, well, let's jam power this guy. And take him to Vampire Pound Town here. Now I'm just gonna play this out. Gallows gas slowly ticking up. I know how many people this person killed on Saturday with just like random like 10 Gallows gas out of nowhere. Probably a non-zero, right? He won 6 rounds. Ugh. No, my Blight Knight. I loved my Blight Knight. Man. Can I draw some thresholds? Yeah, streams live. Double knot, sorry. With the your 50-point share. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just playing this. I feel like I'm just playing this. I'm gonna work through their crappers. We're gonna lose our bride at some point, but it's what it is. Gemborn has Fate Weave. You're right, it does. I could have played that, huh? Good call. Good call. Ugh, they both hit Fate Weave. Gross. Deck my Stinkhorn. Oh. Resource on top of my deck. Hopefully we can get to double blood and then do the old From the Ashes with Bride. Yep, this is the decklist from the bash. Tilt. I'm going to lose my bride next turn. Alright, Gallows gas up to a 13-13. 14-14. I'm playing this. Just playing this from the ashes. I think I am. Get woven to nothing and then die. It's actually just dead, right? Actually just dead. Alright. We done.